the Xantares lineup. Back to the slumped players. Believe Space Soldiers, way back, if I recall correctly. But it'll be good to see them back and popping, and it'll be against Mirage, which Fnatic just lost a moment ago to Fate in rather close fashion. So it should be a good chance for them to be able to compete, show what they're doing, because Fnatic hasn't been on their top form, and it's been hit or miss, and the stand-ins make it a complete mess, but they've been somewhat competent throughout. Some blunders here and there, but that's to be expected. And overall, they've been able to keep themselves together. And with that being the case, it's all about what they can do on Mirage here. The only reason for this is seeding anyways, so it's not too stressful. Though I know Eternal Fire certainly have something to prove, I imagine, because they want to be able to go hard going into this RMR, nice and confident, and give themselves the best chances to get back into being a top team in the scene, respected and talked about constantly. And it'll be interesting to see how the new faces with them have things turn out as they're able to get into it in the pistol. Eternal Fire trying to execute onto this A site. Interestingly, just focusing on jungle control and planting for triple, though never finishing the plant, bomb dropping. As he getting taken on, able to take down Xantares. More just going back, rotating through connector, and getting a clean shot onto Poison. It's interesting 2v3 now. Have to see what they can do here. Some clean shots from Mezzi. Sort also is able to take down some. And Woxix left in this 1v2. Not the easiest of situations to be stuck in. Should have the space to get out if he times it correctly. But he'll be able to double peek him at just the right time as he's slow and decides to walk on out. And Fnatic able to get that first round. Let's see if they can do a little bit better with their conversions this time around. Been able to have a few minutes to be able to consider the worst offenses from what they did. And the plan is in fact force for Eternal Fire. Classic move to go for there. Let's see with the immediate App Molly. Try to deny any of that early presence. Poison focusing on getting various bits of info. Trying to keep info on what's going on around mid. Alex will join to help him on out. Crim's even just staring directly below. Back open towards top mid. Turn around, focus on that. Able to get one Alex to help out with that. Calix trying to find anything, but instead just Xantares to find at least one in the round. Their catwalk is completely open. They can freely go to B, at least for a few more seconds, until Krems creeps into the nest room, if he does, but looks like he's more focused on holding it. So Hexfloud won't have to worry about anything there. Instead, he decides to, in fact, go into ladder, try to find an opportunity. A tag, perhaps, but won't find much. Smoked off, makes a little footstep. Sound cue might not have been heard. As he anchored towards this van, it's going to be a little bit stuck towards that position now. This movement could expose him. It's causing Krems to try to rotate to help on out. Just in case it's needed. Positions to worry about, and Mezzi chips in just in time. Be able to work together. Be able to take down both the remaining players. Getting Fnatic's second round win. Safe conversion. Certainly what you want to see. And speaking of seeing, to see what else they can do. As so far, they have revealed getting not so well through Mirage, and are not too great at it in the past anyways. And it is what I imagine would be far more like for Eternal Fire, at least statistically. That's what seems to be shown. But it'll still be a test nonetheless as it's against Fnatic. The stand-ins, it is somewhat respectable, and that nade should finish off Santeras. Able to dunk him on out as Poison lands some shots. Chip on through. Flick getting Woxic as well. Xcloud getting naded down to 48 as well. Bomb left open in the ramp. Nothing for them to be able to do in this situation. Much to work with, and Crims looks like he wants to finish off. Remaining 2 gets denied. And will require Alex to get the trade in response to get that final blow dealt with. But still, dealt with it will be, and Woxic now with that AWP. Start dealing with them. Still AWP on Mezzy and Poison on the other side as well. Bit scary to see that, at least. Have to keep that in mind as Poison's going aggressive here. Willing to take that swing, able to take Imor out early. Trying to peek out, but it's right into Mezzy. And it turns out he is not able to win that duel. Calc's able to take him down. Or Calix, rather. Xcloud trying to default some apps control, trying to keep Crims locked on down. But Calix now able to find an opening onto Poison, throwing deep molly towards Alex's position. Able to keep him out of jungle. With it, Woxic scoped in, and if it just wasn't for their own smoke, he would have just gotten a free pick onto Alex stuck in jungle. They're trying to re-smoke it, and Santeras will just spray Alex through the smoke instead to finally obtain that frag. Got Pepsor from a clean shot. Second op shot not connecting through, but he will finally tag, take him down. 2 HP left. Barely alive, and it's Crims here trying to deal with this AWP on Woxic. Able to get a good nade off, bring him down to 51. Santeras just staring him down like a hawk. Pepsor is able to take down 1, but Woxic able to get him back in revenge. And he isn't able to finish the frag on Crims, having a chance in this clutch. He swings on out, and Crims wins it like an absolute monster. And even has the defuse kit, so able to get the round, in fact. Clutching it on out. 4 rounds for Fnatic. Amazing job by them there. That being the case means they got a clean 4-0 start, and they're feeling probably a lot more confident about themselves than they have been so far at the moment. Question is what the next play is. What are they going to do to handle things? As they've had a rough streak to start. Looks like the move is having players mostly just passive, not even worried about the nest room. Just now, Alex taking the risk to retake it. And Eternal Fire just leaning towards a very standard A execute here. The 4 remaining players, and Alex throwing counter utility from spawn that perfectly lands in the palace door. That is beautiful. Fantastic utility usage from the IGL, of course. Now we wait. So they wait for whatever decided time, probably 45, or looks like 50. My words, and Calx is able to find the first opening, track them into that bomb site, and make it 2, just as the smoke's bloom as well on both. As Santeras finds a third, taking down Crims, and suddenly this sketchy looking round is suddenly in their favor. That being the case, Poison's backing on up. And they're sort of just left to save now. Going on back. Santeras is even interested in hunting, a little bit too deep, going all the way to underpass, but a good shot to try to hunt for it anyways. Terrorists win. Can't hurt to do so there. With that, they're able to keep the 4 weapons alive, just need to get a weapon for Imor. Looks like someone will want to pause for the moment at least. Set up their next plans. Whatever they desire next. It is certainly important to evaluate and watch this game, consider the impact and how this lineup's doing with the stand-ins to handle. This pause, good to see Eternal Fire get their first round on the board, though certainly hoping for them to be able to follow it up to continue the fight. Things will not end that easily. So waiting for it. Maybe technical issue on Imor, considering he hasn't been doing anything just yet. Nothing purchased on up, just a couple M4s, Moss, everyone just chilling, doing their thing. Standard online technical hold on. We'll get there eventually. You know, you always have to figure out how you want to stall and handle these, because you never know what could be wrong. Could be a classic, we swear it's the TeamSpeak server, and just giving them 3 minutes to do a tactical pause. Or for all you know, it could be a full complicated, they need to just fully restart their entire PC and their router. Everything's gone terrible. But considering Imor is still on the server, probably not that severe. And just waiting any moment now for it to be dealt with. See players starting to be interested in moving their mice, looking around, tinkering with their utility. Terra's having fun with the scroll wheel. Back Tice finally tossing the weapon to Imor, which actually swaps between weapons, buys some utility. So it looks like they're getting ready to go. Maybe something Fnatic side, maybe someone needs to go to the bathroom, who knows what else. And looks like they're finally good. Took down the 20 seconds. Able to resume from this very settled down, relaxed minute or two. Able to do their best to keep things going. With it, they'll be leaving Imor go for some solo mid plays. And in the process, getting naded down twice, down to 40. It's going to make him retreat from the position, but Santeras is ready. Snaps on the poison. Ready to snap on the Pepstor as well, but instead of the X-Cloud having a great, fantastic job with that. And Calyx to take Alex down and even save X-Cloud in the process. Though it's Woxic, one of the full HP players. Calyx is the only healthy player left alive. And X-Cloud will go into the table, dealing with Brims, not concerned about his HP, more concerned about the impact. Trying to run away from Mezzi as he tries to take down 2. Will find it. Able to find Calyx as well, means he's in a 1v1 with X-Cloud here. X-Cloud far more fragile in this situation, and Mezzi hits the flick perfectly. Able to pick up that AWP, get the defuse, keep Fnatic in dominant control here. Counter-terrorists win. Keep things going rather well. And it looks like we have another technical. So we now have player completely disconnected. Similar victim this time. Going for the full PC restart. Trying to be optimistic at first and now full sending it. Have to wait a minute for him to get back onto the server. Just gonna chill for a few minutes. Hopefully everyone's doing well, enjoying. Solid weekend, I believe, if I haven't lost track of time. Yes, it's still Sunday. Haven't completely lost my mind yet, at least in some areas. Timekeeping being one of them. One of the very few. This pause continues, but with an Emor back on the server. Hopefully things feeling better after a game restart. Certainly the break's not uncalled for after all the matches being run through today. 6+ hours of Counter-Strike. Could be prepping all day. Might have been at this sort of thing for 8 to 10 hours now. Entirely a mystery, but what isn't is how exhausting it can be. Won't stop from Fnatic from keeping this good lead, setting up the boost mid. Just heavy 3-stack. Just now having Krim shoot the TV on his way to B. Guess he didn't like the channel he was tuned into. Fix that the only way a Counter-Strike player knows how. This Calyx just hard lurking in the palace. Things through as Woxic's cautious of ramp being fully surrendered. Some of these big stars, they should have the possibility to just get some insane rounds and break on through, which might be what they're looking for in this situation. Trying to work a little bit with the old and new. On their way in, able to hit a direct smoke onto Alex, cause a little bit of trouble there. Setting up, flashbang's not connecting Poison, but he gets up the angle. Still won't stop him from landing. Shot on the Calyx, taking down Xanteras with an aggressive peek. And landing a third before X-Cloud's the one finally to get the trade, but left in a 1v3 with that situation. Just faking the plant initially, trying to safely hold his position. Krim's passive in the connector, trying to get him out. Not able to find any of these shots. He's now on the stairs, just aware of this positioning. Next Cloud has to stick this. Absolute madness, not going for it. And he even goes for the duel and will be left with 1,000 in the bank to work with. So that's at least he can be tossed a pistol and buy half armor, whatever he wants to do. Not the worst situation in the world to have to work with. Certainly not ideal. Trying to set things up. Poison. Passing this window. Krims is just waiting for some kind of sound cue or reason to spam. Just hard anchoring. Not finding anything though. They're just going late, flashing over. None of these flashes seem to be very effective. That Eternal Fire been throwing at the moment, not really connecting onto any Fnatic's players. Not stopping them from finding these openings. He could be caught out of position here. It's all a matter of timing, relying on Poison. Only able to find one. Forcing Mezzi back, but he'll instead lurk carefully into the ladder room. Try to hold in case anyone tries to creep through that nest. Try to get that jungle control. Use that smoke. Santera is trying to win the duel against Alex, been not having a good time with that. Likewise, not having a good time will be anyone else on mid as Mezzy gets a 3K. Just turning to absolutely insane since the last of that last series on Overpass. Pepsor able to finish it off, get some bonus money, and Fnatic seem to be a lot more in their prime once again. A lot more coordinated, able to resolve some problems on Mirage, perhaps. Be much longer until another pause has come out. Another technical issue. Maybe there's just a lot of issues right now making things hard for Eternal Fire, for all we know. Making them have a rough time. Though Fnatic certainly won't be complaining how they had their shortcomings and fell apart at the end of that previous Mirage game. Feels a lot better to have a solid 7-1 lead up, like how they started the day on both maps of Inferno. Certainly how they want to start things going. So nothing to complain about there. This is just for seeding after all, so not the biggest deal. But definitely seems to be some nasty issues at play. I mean, just chill around, appreciate the full map, and just wait for whatever's going on. Surprisingly, Santera is known for just being a massive star player in Impact. Hasn't been able to win these duels. Alex being able to consistently beat him in these 1v1s. Able to deny the space, getting this bomb site. Mezzy getting these multi-frags up 13-1. Only player able to find much is xFloud and Calyx at the moment. That's just sustained over the round, just able to hold about even. Overall, Eternal Fire not holding up well against Fnatic CT side here. Just not able to keep up the same level of aim against them. For whatever is going on. Willing to be aggressive, just this constant fight for mid aggression that Fnatic are now doing. A lot better this time around. A lot more presence, able to fight to get those early picks, the early info, get those advantages. All the sort of things you want going into that. Does seem quite severe, whatever is going on. Still have to wait things out. Take a look at everything else going on as we wait. Have Sangol. There's a notable mixed European lineup. Being able to beat Tricked, surprisingly, 2-1. Barely beating them out on Mirage and Overpass, allowing them to be able to break on through. Gamer Legion versus Skade is just now getting close to finishing up, or finishing up, actually, rather. Gamer Legion was able to just barely take it away, 2-1. This means they'll be going up against Sangol shortly to be able to just start fighting for that seeding. Well, that means it's between Anonymous, Fate, Tricked, and Skade to try to fight for that 5th place decider. Would be rather important, so that is the last RMR chance for them to be able to go for. The question of what they can do, and players fully gone. Yep, looks like good handful of issues, and if that's the case, if the reload doesn't work correctly, they might need to manually resolve it, which can take quite a bit to deal with. Might be holding on for a solid few minutes with the information that we have. Hopefully it doesn't end up being that bad, but never know with these things. Checking everything else. Yeah. That we're failing to get through was the Krakow getting stomped by Fnatic, which you saw earlier. Saw a little bit of Fate being able to beat Namiga, one of the popular lineups, getting beaten by Eternal Fire, so it's worth noting that. Whilst Anonymo able to get upset against Apex. Had some good names like Nock, JKM, Stiko, Cillian. Special players able to beat him out 16-11. It's also a risky pick of the only map of Ancient played so far in this tourney. Which might be worth noting that detail. So there just hasn't been any Mirage played as a whole. Or not Mirage, but Ancient rather. And still to be the case. Not very popular, it would seem, at least in this section of the scene. Saw a lot of it during IM Katowice. During a lot of the matches, though, that seemed to drop with time and time later as they go on, and it seems a lot more dead now, a lot more teams going back to Fur to go after everything. With maybe a little too much chaos on Ancient. There's certainly some notable frustrations to have with it, though some pluses as well. It's about a balanced book to understand. So it looks like they're able to reset it at Classic 7-1, and everything seems to be working. No, still on pause, at least for the moment. So we can see good money on most of Eternal Fire. One of the later full buys, they still have a chance to be able to compete. And have a chance in this map. Have to wait. Everyone on Fnatic ready to go. Maybe missing some nades on Poison, but that's about it. Certainly tech issues for Eternal Fire that they're trying to get dealt with. Not entirely sure what's wrong, but see the people that we've known as star players in the past, Interis and Woxic, 2-7, 4-7, not lighting up the scoreboard, being deadly players they have been historically and likely have been in the previous matches. Just not able to hold their own against Fnatic as we get back into it. See if they can activate back into this, or things just end up falling apart a bit. Woxic misses an important shot onto Mezzy. That direct nade onto xCloud. Where the presence of that player and just completely deny the idea of him being able to get that AWP back. Brought down to 46. They're able to get some connector control at least. able to fully obtain that, but Pepsor is getting a response of his own. Going off the ramp, and Alex throwing that molly a little bit too short. Unfortunately, ends up wasted. But they're able to group up, have 3 for a proper execute towards A while having this sole lurk from Imore hiding on the side. If Alex pushes up enough to clear him out, and we'll be ready for it. Now the game's sort of on up. Up to Calix, able to find that first. When the openings, Terrace, X-Cloud, Calix, and Terrace able to find one. Peps are able to take down Calix immediately in response and find the double. Kid's doing a brilliant job against the opposition right now, just stalling, just not being aware of the angles. Terrace will finally take him down, but Mezzi will be able to immediately get that response, be up 8-1, and keep things up in rather top shape. Certainly not what you want to see. And they're going to try to be able to get a half buy on up, have Santeras fully buy up, able to get a little bit more frags, has a bit more potential. Give them a better chance getting some more work done. Immediately smoke out, but there is second molly, so they aren't able to push on past. Isn't focused on mid. Alex ready and prepared to support, but just playing passive for the second. Just as the mid window view's given up. The run boost has failed, but won't matter as there's no one to see it anyways. Everything very relaxed. Alex seeing the info on a couple players now. Hint that they're existing, trying to handle it. Mezzi able to take down Santeras. That hero AJ already denied. Calix, the weapons. Calix able to find a surprise, able to take down one, but not able to find much else, and Alex and Pepsor will deal with the rest. Fnatic able to handle Eternal Fire rather dominantly when it comes to duels. Seems like they're being predicted rather well as prepared mostly for the duels, able to be prepared and adjust on the fly. And Eternal Fire just not having a good time with this at all. Rest in peace, Smoke Grenade. Will be remembered. Even if you are unused. Underappreciated. It's one important smoke they could use to try to execute in, rather than having Santeras go for these. That Pepsor should be completely ready for, but misses out this time around. Able to safely get out, play carefully passive. Alex towards the stair, Santeras next to him again. And Alex able to beat him up on this matchup once again. Just consistently winning it out. Now it's Woxic and Calix left in a 2v4. Entire team rotated or staring through the connector. Alex just patiently waiting. Woxic's trying to find an opening. Find that chance in, but misses that second shot. But a smoke will be thrown down, expected. And unable to land that flick onto Mezzi, trying to play around the utility. And so it'll be Calix taken down by Mezzi as well. Able to get a solid 2 in that round, and everyone in Fnatic having a fantastic time when safely confirming their entry in and just looking a lot more like themselves at the moment. Krem's taking it easy after holding the team on his back, essentially. Just a solid 5-5 while everyone else takes control. Not having that same pressure put onto him as before. And Eternal Fire do a timeout. They have little chances left to try to get rounds in and have some impact. And Mezzi still apparently only died once. Missed that key little detail. Alex and Crims, about 600 utility damage total. Add in the rest. About 7 people's worth of utility damage. Absolutely insane. Solid ADR, 132, 103, 81. 81 and only 66 on Pepsor, but you've seen the frags he's been doing. Very key, important moments and plays being made. Meanwhile, Eternal Fire, at least for the moment, could get anything going. And that Molly's just going to leave things even more. Crims is left in the open, able to keep his life just for a moment longer. Emor will be able to catch that down. There's still a small problem. There's this player called Mezzi, and he still hasn't died, and they have to take him down. Beat bomb site, and finally, a second death onto Mezzi. Xcloud finding those openings, finding that chance. And the nade lands on Calx, doesn't find a single frag, and Eternal Fire at least able to finally find a second. And able to break through at least 2. Could get up to 5, which would be about what they need on Mirage to not be put in a near impossible situation. But certainly far from ideal, of course. They'll have to book it sooner rather than later. And it's just Poison Pepsor just playing rather safe. Moving towards that A bomb site. Don't have to worry about much. Eternal Fire is worried about their own bank. Should at least be another buy for Fnatic. They want to try to deny this. Crims was unusually caught off guard there. Usually having some of the most legendary experience and game awareness. Rarely happens, but mistakes always a possibility. Once Eternal Fire is able to successfully capitalize, at least that time around. Deep nade Moss Spray won't find any targets as everyone's holding back. But with that means Poison will rather deep and find a clearance, able to take a pick from underpass. Centera is once again denied from any impact. 6 and 11 right now. Seems to be one of the hardest hitters, not able to find much at all. Grim's throwing some assist utility to help out. His team covered, bottom connector. And a double nade bottom underpass. Only one of the nades connects, though, surprisingly, so Xcloud gets to live with half HP. So we're able to aim with that initial key frag. Poison with a beautiful flick. Out in, and Xcloud unable to even find one this time around. Alex able to land the turnaround in time to get Fnatic 11. Though Eternal Fire took a solid route and a fantastic fight to get here. Seems like they might have dropped off of the past and recent matches. Fnatic, the more they play maps and these familiar maps, in fact, with this lineup, the more comfortable they're getting with each other. They figure out how to adjust, perform better. Contesting frags cause a little bit of trouble. You see notable adjustment, just having Crims worry about short and having Poison instead of mid, anchor towards B, at least in this round. Toxic's just hoping for a push mid. A little evidence to show Fnatic's interested in that too much. That being the case, just time being ticked on down. We'll get Nest for free, spending like another 6-7 seconds to clear out this window, get towards mid. Since they're just now starting to contest that mid control, half the time burnt on down. Toxic wants to find that initial pick. That AWP. Instead, they just re-smoke window. Throw a pop flash into connector. Follow it up with some molly and smoke once they know it's clear. Looks like they want to transfer that from cat to B. Except there's a problem. Crims is hugging that fire and, in fact, staring at it, seeing no one there. They start to rotate towards A. Crims is going to be able to call this out as he just holds this deep angle. And Calx gets taken down by Mezzy early. Alex taking down Timor as well. Pepsor able to keep himself and time so well. Crims is able to put on through. Woxic's trying to desperately run away. Put on in. Able to take Pepsor down. But only left. Poison some blind fire shots. Shaded, the weapon is being taken away. But Fnatic up 12-2. Just little for Eternal Fire to be able to show here. As he, with a few more deaths now, but still 20 frags near the end of this first half. Going into this final round. Be able to pick them apart. As the fire sees poison prepared, but actually able to adjust that spray to take down Emor. He's dead to rights, and looks like a little bit of tagging or damage. Forced X-Cloud into the open to get taken down. Well, Santeras. Woxic and Calix 2v5. Try to find any response that they can. They have full top mid control. Poison scoped on in. Just ready to take them down. Missing that first shot. We'll be able to follow up in a second, and Alex will tune in from connector to take down Calx on his side. And with that, a solid 13-2. Just complete decimation. Good ADR on all the players on Fnatic. Meanwhile, unable to say the same for Eternal Fire. What was the best ADR we saw in a player? About 70? Just struggling to get any damage out in general at the moment. On Eternal Fire. Got 88 on X-Cloud. He's been doing pretty well. But overall, just 30, 30, 68, 62. Just weak damage overall. Just not able to find it. Isn't taking these early deals with Santeras. Chipping him away down to 54. And just gives this space for them to be able to execute in. Flashbang isn't so smooth. Santeras able to chip in one each with that. But Mezzy's finally able to take him down. And Alex is well prepared for this. With a clean shot. We got some dualies chilling around on Imor.
Bomb has been planted.
Can here, able to spam down Alex beautifully. These dualies to perfection, but Mezzy will just one tap him in the head, one tap X-Cloud in the head, leaving him rather low, and it's just Woxic left intact. As they tap this, X-Cloud left in the open. And has to try to, like, 180 dodge, able to bait out the entire mag from Poison, catch him out. So Woxic able to get an important pistol round clutch to at least get a third for Eternal. Just barely.
Counter-terrorists win.
Rather close there for a second. But still able to be recovered. Santeras immediately picking up that M4. We have rifles mostly for the team. I imagine see Fnatic with the Force here. How dominant they've been so far on this map. Looks like that will be the case as they continue. AKs and Galils in hand. Scout for crits. Really liking that pickup, and I can see why. Immediate tag into Imor, and he just stands there for a second. contemplating his life choices losing at that moment. Santeras is just full blind from some good utility usage from Fnatic. Get full mid control, 2 picks alongside it. And that's on top of the still tagged Emor. And what do you do here on Eternal Fire? Weapon advantage, fire advantage, and it just gets even stronger. Let's go for these 1v1. Pioneer just left. They almost line up, but he's only able to find 1 in the process. And Fnatic is 2 rounds away from cleanly taking Eternal Fire out on down. Certainly got to feel a lot better for Fnatic now. See them trying to keep up the fight, just creeping on through. xCloud able to get to that bench position just in time. Knowing players like Prince and Imperial hard geared out. Cloud able to get that opening. Just not expecting it actually at all. Crim's just getting the flick onto it at the last second, but still the damage has been done. 1v3 here. Bomb dropped. Alex going for this full rotate, try to join his buddy at Cat. Waiting for any sign of info. Has suspicion there might be someone lurked there. You would have to walk through the smoke past him for that. An insane read. As well as that shot onto Santeras. Just peeking into him. Looks like he bumped into his teammate there. They're really convinced that someone has to be at that ban position. It won't matter, as he's now the last remaining. Woxic in the van, utility being thrown his way. Crim's so ready to clear out this position, but not able to win the duel. Means the bomb's dropped even further ahead towards him. They're carefully able to stop, trying to get that headshot, but instead runs right into Alex's crosshair. Fnatic up 15-3. And it looks like this one's going to be dealt with fairly quickly. So there's only one more chance for him to hold on and still have to get 12 rounds out of it. There's so much to ask for. Meanwhile, the other team they'll go against, Angle or Gamer Legion, has barely yet to begin. Fifth place decider has just started. Fnatic really wanting a break, and it looks like they're going to be able to find it. Just gonna take out the flame of the fire, singe them out. Stop the torch, and he's ready for this ninja position too. Just clearing them out. 3v2. They do have a fair chance into it, but not until Mezzy gets involved. Able to take more shots. Woxic left in CT. Crim's already heading towards that way.
Bomb has been planted. Terrorists win.
And with that, Fnatic able to clean it out. Clean, 16-3. Able to handle things. And with that, gotta thank you all so much. It's been fantastic day, couple of matches, but things mostly dealt with for now. And I can say for sure that I am starting to fall apart. So unfortunately, we'll be calling it there, at least for our coverage. That's fine with everyone. Hopefully everyone has enjoyed watching this. Thank you for supporting the stream, enjoying us for us being here. So that'll be about all for the day. Hopefully you guys have a good time, and happy to see you in the future. Feel free to check out bitcasino.io.